Hello everyone and welcome to tutorial 4 of this video series, and today we're going to be looking at IPython magic commands, which is basically just a way of running a couple of commands built into the Python kernel. IPython standing for interactive Python, which makes it easier for us to perform particular tasks, interacting with the operating system within a Jupyter Notebook. So for example, if you would like to see more about that, you could just visit this page over here and read more about that. However, I'm just going to be explaining some of the basics which I think are quite necessary to know when interacting with a Jupyter Notebook. So one of the first things that you would like to be able to do is run some terminal operating system commands. So for example, if I had a terminal open and I want to see the current working directory, I can just run the command pwd, print working directory. But I can also do that in the notebook environment by running pwd over here, prepended with a percentage symbol, right? So that basically gives me the directory in which this notebook file is located. I can also go do change directory, and perhaps I want to go back one folder, then I'll say cd ... Alright, and that takes me back one directory. Now I'm in the previous parent folder of this notebook document. Okay, if I want to go back, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to then write for underscore tutorial, and then that takes me back to the original folder. So let's just type magic and show you what it gives us. It tells us what IPython magic functions really are and all the types of functions that we can run using the magic built-in functionality, and you can go through that on your own, but for now I'm just going to continue and show you a bunch of other things. To see a list of the magic commands, the available line magic are alias magic, and you can go through this list. I'm only going to discuss those that I deem really important. So you can see at the bottom of this output that automagic is off. That really means that I can't write print working directory without prepending it first with a percentage symbol, because it will just give me an error, right? It'll just say that it doesn't know what it is. But if I wanted to avoid having to type percentage symbol each time, I have to turn automagic on just by running it again. So now it's turned on, and I can leave out that percentage symbol and just say print working directory, change directory, and go back one directory. Alright, see what I'm saying? In my case, I want to go back to for underscore tutorial, and then I might leave off automagic in a lot of the cases, just to get used to always appending our command with a percentage symbol. So there is a hell of a lot more that I can actually do. And some of the things include getting some of the information from the operating system and playing around with that. We can also interact with the Python package installer and see a list of available pip commands within the Python notebook instead of having to run it from the terminal, right? So instead of running pip over here, I can actually run pip in the notebook, and it gives me the same functionality that I had expected before. Right, so that's cool, but there is so much more that I can do. So one other thing that I'd like to mention quickly is that we can see a list of all the magic commands that we've run up to this point by having percentage and then history, and that gives us that we've already played around with magic, print working directory, change directory, but there's much more that I can do. Say for example, I want to define a variable with a certain number of decimal places, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to then only call that variable with a certain number of decimal places. I can change precision to say 1, then it will, when I call the variable a, will only give me back 1.1. So I've actually restricted it to only give back the variable up to that decimal place, 1.1. Alright, so that's cool, but there is so much more that I can actually go and do, and what I would like to illustrate to you is how we can use HTML, JavaScript in our notebook. And so one thing that we have to then do is to prepend HTML with 2 percentage symbols, and then within that same cell I can go write some HTML to render within the notebook. Here you can see HTML pre-painted with a double percentage symbol, and then I have some HTML text. So for example, you want to define an HTML document, then I have HTML opening and closing tags, I have body tags, I have a header tags, and within that title of the page, and then I have a heading and a paragraph tag. So I'm just going to run that and show you, oh, I get this HTML output, right? But I can also do JavaScript, which is what makes it so really useful. I can run different languages within the same environment. So if, for example, I want to run JavaScript, print something to the console. In this case, I'm just going to run console log hello world, and what that'll do is it won't show up in my environment, but because that's in the console, if you press F12 on your keyboard in the Chrome browser, that'll open up the developers tools. And I'm going to go to console, and it's going to show me, oh, I have a new line at the very bottom that says hello world. So that's what console does. It logs it to the browser's console. So that's it for this tutorial. I'll see you in the next one.